Hey all, welcome back to my channel. Today we are starting off with a double page layout. We're starting on some white daisy and I'm going to be bringing in the Let's Party collection. I've already worked from this quite a bit, so we're going to incorporate more of those blue colors and bring in some of those pattern papers. I also have these little skunks that I have stamped and fussy cut out. This is the paper we'll try to incorporate. I do have mostly scraps. Those were some bluebird pieces that I might use as photo mats. Let's set these aside and get started. I'm bringing in some candy apple cardstock. I'm thinking I may want to bring out some more of the reds out of this blue pattern paper. So I'm just kind of playing around with that, and then I'll be bringing in some of that sprinkle paper. This sprinkle strip is about 2 inches by 12, and then I have another piece that's roughly 7.5 by 12. So I'm just kind of moving these around, seeing how I want those placed. That red is very bold. So still fussing with that. I want this blue to be kind of the center focal point, but the red is kind of overpowering that. I'm considering bringing in this yay and having it be a banner. And then I'm just bringing in some photo mats to see, well, if I put the banner there, where would my photos go? I don't have any photos for this layout yet. And then I'm bringing in some honey butter, thinking that would bring out some of that Sundance. And then this is jade, which is a coordinating color for this paper pack. I do know I want this dovetailed. There's still a little bit of, I think there was a zip strip up at the top of this, so I'm just cutting off the extra paper there, and then I am dovetailing it. I like to just cut up from the middle and then in from each corner up to that cut. I like to know where my photos will go, so then I have a general idea of where I want embellishments. And this is just looking like a hot mess at this point. So then I'm thinking, well, maybe if I cover up some more of that red and just have it be a pop. But then what do I put in that white section? So then I bring in some of that jade. Now we're just getting a lot of patterns going and a lot of colors going. I think, well, maybe if I put that sprinkle in between the jade and the candy apple, maybe it would separate the colors a little more. Not liking it. So I'm bringing those photo mats back in. So then I'm just thinking, okay, well, if my photo mats are here, where would my clusters go? I like to keep my clusters in a visual triangle if possible. I know I want to use these pattern papers, so I'm bringing in my archival black ink and I'm just distressing around the edges. And I'm not going to ink around the candy apple yet. I'm not set on that. I'm not sure if I'll be incorporating that. So I have the sprinkle paper here now. And then I'm bringing that blue pattern paper over to the right. If I have it on the right hand side of the layout, I know I want to bring it over to the left. So then I'm just bringing in more of my scraps to see, well, maybe if I just do a little bit behind my photo mat and it just brings your eye to both sides of the paper. And here's another. These are a little bit larger than 4 by 6. And then I have that banner strip I cut. Let's go ahead and ink around that banner piece since we inked around all the other patterns. And here, if you just fold it a little bit, you can get into those corners a little easier. I just brought out a piece of inexpensive printer paper, and I'm just going to cut some photo mats out of that so I don't have to waste my good cardstock just by laying things out. So I'm cutting these a little larger than 4 by 4 pieces, and I'm thinking I want to do a grid layout on the right. I have that big pattern piece over there. I think a grid would look nice. I'm bringing that over on the left. I don't want to hide all of the pattern paper behind the grid photos. I'm just kind of playing around with where I want the papers, and I know I want to include this banner piece. And then we'll bring those 4x4 squares back in. And then I'll bring the bluebird back over to the right as well, since I have the bluebird photo mats on the left. Let's go ahead and bring that in a little bit, and then I can cut that off and bring it over on the right hand side. I'm just bringing this piece of scrap in just so I can see what it would look like over there if we did bring that to the right. It's not quite long enough, but it gives me a little bit of a visual. And then that banner, I'll have some peeking out the right hand side as well, just to finish bringing everything over to the right. And I am liking this. I like this a lot better than the red. The red was just too much. So I'm just marking here with my scissors where I want to cut. I got that blue pattern paper cut, and I'm thinking right about here. So then that can come over on the right as well. So then it looks like it's peeking out from under the sprinkles. I have that banner piece. Let's go ahead and cut that down as well. And then that can go on either side of the layout. Yes, I am liking this much better. And then I still have this happy birthday zip strip. I'm thinking of bringing it down here just to break up the pattern on pattern. And then I also played with the idea of bringing it down further. Let's go ahead and bring those photo mats back in from my printer paper. I am liking the look of that grid. Let's go ahead and bring the bluebird photo mats back in onto the left page. I do find that I take most of my pictures on my phone, so they are more vertical pictures. So I'm just making sure that I have plenty of options. I got the photo mats on the right cut out of the bluebird, and I'm just cutting down that zip strip. And I am going to bring that down under that blue pattern paper with the balloons and cakes. I like how that just finishes that off. Let's go ahead and tuck that under. And we'll bring in some more of that archival black ink and just go around a few of the edges of the zip strips. All right, we'll get the one for the right-hand page. And we'll just tuck that under the sprinkles. I'm bringing my embellishments back in, and I know I want to incorporate these cute little skunks. I brought those in on one of my other layouts, and I loved it, so I'm bringing them in again. And then I have this happy birthday and many more banner that I just put up on the right-hand corner. I'm going to adhere these photo mats down, and I am going to butt them all the way up against that left-hand side of the paper. And I'm keeping my adhesive closer to the center. I'm not 100% where I want my embellishment clusters to be, so if I want to tuck anything under those photo mats, I have that option. I'm bringing that sticker sheet back in, and I'm just pulling off some of the stickers that I think will look nice with this layout, and I am removing the adhesive off of the back so I can move them around and play with them a little easier. This title, the Make a Birthday Wish with all of those candles, the green strip, I am thinking that should be my title. These little, they look like washi tape strips. I'm putting over each of the square photos. And then I like to balance the colors in each of my clusters. So I have that visual triangle going with each skunk. And then I'm just bringing in some yellow, some green, some blue into each cluster. I want my title up at the top, but then I have 4 clusters, kind of. So then I'm bringing my skunk back up into that left-hand corner so that that can be one cluster. And I'm just going to ink around the title element. I have these leftover zip strips. They're the white and black polka dots. So I'm thinking those would look good to balance out and give my skunk something to stand on. So I'm adding those to the clusters, and I'm just cutting off a little bit of extra paper that's there, and then I'll dovetail that. So I just made a little banner for him to stand on. I took some stars off of the sticker sheet as well. So I'm just scattering those around, playing with the colors. I'm thinking of bringing some more of that polka dot zip strip up there. It just has a little bit of that extra paper, so again, I'm just trimming that down. And dovetailing that one as well. I like that that brings in some more black from the skunks as well. And I still like that "Here's to you," but I'm not sure where I want to include that. Bringing some stars in behind the skunk. Those are from that sticker sheet. And then I have some arrows as well, and I wanted the arrows to point into the layout. While I'm thinking about the embellishment clusters, let's go ahead and adhere these washi tape stickers down to the photo mats on the right. And I'm just putting adhesive on the top part since I still need to tuck my photos under that onto the photo mats. I'm using my Barely Art glue, so it's a nice precision, just a small amount of glue up there. And I did do the black polka dot ones across from each other so they weren't right next to each other. Let's go ahead and bring this banner back in. I know I want to use the banner, so we'll just go ahead and adhere that down. Let's put that pin back in the glue before we forget. And I'm still playing around with these little skunks in these clusters. I'm not 100% on them yet. I like him sitting on that arrow, but this skunk is a little heavier with those flowers around him. So let's try that one down below and then bring that other one up. So now he's kind of floating down there, but I do like his weight down there better. So I have some stars that we'll go ahead and start adhering. And let's go ahead and get the banners and everything else adhered so we can focus on that skunk. There, he's kind of sitting on that, so that looks nice. He has a resting spot. Let's go ahead and pop him up on foam dots. There we go. Just make sure not to put adhesive on the photo mat since we still need to add our pictures. I'm bringing this little sticker with the yellow with the stars on it up to that cluster. I'm thinking maybe if he stood on that, but it's just not long enough and his tail covers the words on that blue banner. So I want him further away from the banner, but I need something long enough to connect all of the stickers together. So that's why I'm liking the green arrow. So then I think, well, what if I use both? Let's go ahead and get some of these stars adhered. I'm really jumping back and forth, but these clusters were not easy for me. I have these old punches. So I brought in some circles and some tags. These tags are a little bit smaller than, actually quite a bit smaller than the tags and tabs thin cuts that you normally see me using. So I'm bringing in some of the circles and tags, thinking maybe he just needs something else behind him. So then if I do it to one page, I'd like to bring it into the other page, but then I'm back to getting the 4 clusters rather than the 3. And I really wanted to keep that visual triangle. I'm bringing in another one of those zip strips that say happy birthday. I felt like my photos were just kind of floating around. I did like how that circle ended up looking behind that skunk, and I just added a yellow arrow behind him. And then I'm bringing in some of my red and blue dots. These come in stars, circles, and hearts, and in 3 different shades of the color. So I'm bringing in some of the darker blue stars, some of the red stars, and then I do bring in just a couple of the hearts as well. And I'm just scattering those around each embellishment cluster. So I have stars from the sticker sheet, and then I also have these dot stars, so it adds a little more dimension, and it keeps your eyes wandering across the page. I'm just going to finish adding these around my clusters, just to finish those off. If you're liking this video, please give it a thumbs up, and if you're not already subscribed to my channel, please subscribe, and if you hit that bell notification, you can get notified every time I post a new video. Here's a closer look at these clusters. I've been using these skunks a lot more lately, and I'm just loving them. They're so cute. There's those washi tapes, and here's that cluster. And there we are. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope it brought you some inspiration. If you would like still shots, follow me on my Instagram. It is linked down below. And until next time, live a life worth scrapping. Bye, guys.